This next episode in our series is titled the COMETA Report. COMETA was a high-level French UFO study organization composed of high-ranking officers and officials, some of whom held command posts in the military, intelligence, and aerospace industry. The name COMETA in English stands for Committee for In-Depth Studies. The study was carried out over a several-year period at the Institute of Advanced Studies for National Defense, or IHEDN, a high-level French military think tank, and was released in 1999. The report is arranged in 3 parts, along with a section of conclusions and recommendations, also an appendix section. Part 1 of the report lays out the facts and testimonies from credible, well-documented cases observed from around the world. This includes detailed descriptions of the events from pilots, navigators, and air traffic controllers. It also gives thorough descriptions of famous close encounters that happened in France, including the Trans-en-Provence landing case in 1981, in which a silent ovoid-shaped object descended into a farmer's backyard, rested for a second, then ascended quickly and disappeared into the sky. This simple visual sighting also had visible mechanical tracks and imprints in the shape of a crown, which pushed the case into the domain of the unexplained. Soil samples were taken and showed the vegetation's ability to produce photosynthesis had been considerably altered. Part 2 explores our current knowledge base of the phenomenon, starting with the organization phase, which positions how different groups like the Gendarmerie Nationale, the Air Force, and the Civil Aviation Authority will work together. The report then explains how the different UAPs, unexplained aerospace phenomena, are classified, including investigations of famous worldwide aeronautical cases, radar sightings, and close-up sightings in France. This chapter further goes on to discuss the varying hypotheses surrounding the modes of travel these UFOs may possess. Finally, this chapter discusses the research and conclusions the United States has reached, including the dimension of the 1947 UFO crash in Roswell, New Mexico, as being true. Part 3 of the COMETA report deals with defense and the many implications that come with disclosure. It hypothesizes who the extraterrestrials are, their intentions, and what circumstances we as humans should prepare for. From there, it discusses the varying occupations that may be more prone to sightings, such as flight crews, air traffic controllers, and meteorologists, and how they should respond in case of a sighting. It also explores the media's role in reporting sightings and what attitudes it can adopt to better report on this phenomenon. The report ends with a list of appendices dealing with topics on radar detection, astronomer sightings, life in the universe, colonization of space, and a chronological history of the UFO phenomenon. The French government did not commission the COMETA report as an official report. However, before it was released to the public, it was first sent to French President Jacques Chirac and the Prime Minister Lionel Jospin. The report concludes that about 5% of the UFO cases they studied were unable to be explained. Thus, the best hypothesis to explain them was the extraterrestrial hypothesis. At the time of its release in 1999, the COMETA report caused quite a media stir in France, but its impact on the French government's UFO policies seemed less certain. However, in 2007, the French National Space Agency, CNES, reorganized and upgraded its UFO department, JPAN, beginning also the process of releasing its files through their official website. But that's the subject for another episode later in this series. For You Need to Know, this is Antonio Huneus.